Hi, everybody. We have a very exciting show for you this month. Two of my very favorite people and sisters, Kathy Deggendorfer and Tony Phillips, have long been collaborators with their art, and they both have great sense of humor. And I think you're really going to enjoy this show. And what you're seeing right now is a tree and a bird in the nest that they created in order to show their work. And we had so much fun putting it up. So I'm going to let Kathy visit with you about the show.
Thanks, Jean. Appreciate that. Well, thanks everyone for doing the online special here. On this corner, we have some of the older work that Tony and I had done. And when we used to have studios that were right adjacent to one another, so we had lots of time to work on amazing different projects. This grouping is all about dogs because, you know, we both love dogs. So this piece is Central Bark. It is $1,495, and you'll see how typically I would paint to begin with, and then Tony would take a riff off that. So you'll see how she has created the fabrics to match the checkerboard squares that I did on the painting, and also recreated sort of the circles with her amazing handwork. She is so incredible, and we have so much fun working together. And you can see how the dog leash goes between the two pieces. It's beautifully framed too. Another piece, and it's called Central Bark. It's a collaborative. It's $1,495. It's watercolor and applique. The next two pieces, we'll start with the one up above here. That's called Scotland Yard. At one point, Tony was working on doing all these houses, and I was working on painting dogs. So we got together and had this show called Going to the Dogs. This one is Scotland Yard. It's got the two Scotties and, of course, the tartan plaid little doghouse that goes with it. You'll see how she mimicked the little marks that are at the background with her beautiful hand stitching. That one's also $1,495, and both of these are originals. Actually, all three of these originals. This one I think is hilarious. It's called Whoa Nelly, and it was our tribute to our city friends, and people out for a walk with their dog. So get the kind of the streetscape, and then of course the hilarious dog just stroking out there, kicking her poor old Whoa Nelly. And that one's $9.95 and also framed beautifully. So watercolor and applique. The work that we did together for this particular show, we tried to come up with a central theme. And so you'll note that most of these have to do with birds. So we'll start with the smallest piece in this show, and it's this little 4x4 by Tony and myself. And it is actually like a wooden block with, and Tony's put fabric on there, and then I painted the little bird that goes on the top. That's $50. Another one of that same series is called Doris, Daphne, and Donna. I have no idea who those ladies are, but I think Tony made up this name. Also, just a really sweet image on a wood block that is Tony's fabric and applique, and my painting of the little birds on a wire. That's $75. Then we'll go up to the one called Read Between the Lines. And this is a project that I started where it's actually a watercolor on Reeves BFK paper, and then I actually hand stitched willow sticks with wax string. And so they're on 8x8 wooden panels, wooden birch panels, and those are $120. It's an original. The next one is one of Tony's really cute ones. I love these names. It's Begonia. So you can see all the beautiful hand stitching she's done on this. Also an 8x8 and on sale for $150. It's fabric on a wooden birch board. I think we'll go to the top up here, Jewel, which I don't know, somebody already bought it, but isn't it fabulous? It's also on an 8x8 birch block, and then fabric appliqued with terrific hand stitching. Beautiful. We'll come down to another one of my pieces. I have 3 in this show that are framed like this. They're watercolor pieces, and then I hand stitched on willow sticks with wax string and put it behind glass. So that one is called We're Really in the Sticks Now, and it's $150. The lower one here is called cleverly Bluebird on an orange panel. I thought at one point I might have called it something about dominoes because it does look a little bit like a domino, but also an 8x8 birch panel, $120. Very fun. We'll go to Tony's piece here called Francine. Apparently she went to the whole theory of all these different women. I don't know who Francine is out there, but you can see it's already pre-sold. Beautiful, hand stitched, gorgeous. I think that is wool that she has hand dyed. The piece above it is called Bluebird and Autumn Leaves. You can see there's a theme here, also on an 8x8 birch panel, $120. It's hand painted watercolor original and then applied onto the board with matte medium. We'll go to the top here for Gladys and Glenda. This is hilarious. I think it's so fun. She did a riff off of the piece that you'll see right after this called Let's Talk, where she recreated the same patterning of the colors and everything. The birds morphed a little bit, but they're darling. Also mounted on a wooden stick. And then below it is Let's Talk. It's $120, also on a birch panel. And watercolor, that one does not have a stick attached to it. The stick is painted on there. We can go down below to this 2 birds with a checkered past. And I think we had more fun with the titles than anything on this whole show. Watercolor with stitched willow sticks on wax string and then applied with matte medium to that. Here's another one called the Twyla and Tilly. Twyla and Tilly are darling. And look at those amazing stitches. You know, Tony is an expert at hand applique, and she does a lot of work with Sue Spargo, and you can see the influence of that. She's really stunning work. $140. It's a 5x7 birch block. Another framed piece by me. This is all watercolor and then stitched willow stick with museum glass and framed, called Nesting Instinct. And it's also 8x8, $150. And then one of Tony's up above, it's just darling, Bonnie and Betty. Oh, Bonnie and Betty. She did a riff off this last piece, that Nesting Instinct, where you can see it's the same type of birds, and she has attached sticks and little strips of fabric stitched onto it. It's really beautifully done. Somebody already got it though; it's sold. So rush in here and get what you need. I love this little piece called Claire. It's a little 4x5 that Tony did, which is got little sticks for the legs, and it's fabric attached to a birch block. It's $120. The 2 birds with lots of dots is one of mine, also on a birch panel. Painted watercolor on Reeves BFK and then applied with matte medium to make it a solid piece. And then up above, Dolores. Dolores is darling, $150. It's an 8x8 by Tony. I think it's a wool piece with then hand appliqued cotton, and you can see all her incredible little stitching on that. That was $150. Rosie here is so darn cute. Really lovely fabrics and finished beautifully with looks like satin ribbon on the sides. It's $120. It's 6 by 6 and has some incredible embroidery work. This piece is another one of the framed ones of mine. It's called Sitting on the Sticks, and it's a single bird, 8 by 8. That one looks like it's sold. It's $150. And I love this. They're all of these framed ones are under museum glass, so they're beautifully, professionally framed and lovely. This piece is kind of fun. It's an original watercolor called Village of Nine, and I did this a few years ago in a project for a children's hospital in the Willamette Valley. And Tony loved this painting. I've actually kept it in my collection, and now I put it up for sale. It is 22 by 21. It's $8.95, and you'll see it's all these variety of different houses and little trailers and dogs. And Tony was taken by the idea, so she actually recreated it in wool, all hand appliqued. This is also available, and you can see she trimmed it out on these fun little sort of poppy-like images, and you can see the dogs in the windows and in the back of the car, and it's really, really cute. I think it's called Kiki's Corner because that's what my grandkids call me, is Kiki, and that is, I think, $1,200. So yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? So fun. We're so excited. We hope you all can come and join us tomorrow evening for our opening, and we'll get a chance to chat.